So today I am in Huntersville, North Carolina. It's about 20-25 minutes north of the Charlotte area. And I've come out here because I want to visit as well as pay my respects to Iryna Zarutska. Now those of you that clicked on the video probably know who she is, know what happened to her. But for those of you who do not know, I will kind of give a brief overview of what happened to her. Talk about her past, where she grew up, her coming to the US, leading up to her brutal murder a little over a month ago. It's a very, very tragic case. Really, really horrifying to know that someone so young was taken so soon. So Iryna was born on May 22nd, 2002 in Kiev, Ukraine. And she grew up leading a pretty normal life. She ended up going to college and got a degree, I believe, in art and restoration. Her and her family, minus her father, fled to the US to avoid the war with Russia. Unfortunately, her father was unable to come to America because Ukraine has a law stating that men between the ages of 18 and 60 are not allowed to move or leave the country. So Iryna, her mother, brother, and sister come here to America, more specifically North Carolina, to try and start over and make a new life for themselves. So when they moved here to North Carolina, Iryna got a job working at a local pizzeria in downtown Charlotte. And on the night of August 22nd, 2025, Iryna was doing her normal thing. Got off from work. She was taking the Charlotte Lynx light rail train home, like she always did. I believe her boyfriend may have picked her up every now and then, but it was pretty normal for her to take the train. Well, upon boarding the train, she sits in front of a POS. I will not be naming his name. He is not worth mentioning whatsoever. But she sits down and you can see her scrolling through her phone, probably looking at TikTok, Instagram, who knows, minding her own business. Well, a few minutes later, the POS behind her, you can see him pulling out a knife. And after a few seconds of thinking about it, he acts on his internal thoughts and begins repeatedly stabbing her in the neck, and I believe also getting her once in her left knee. So after that, the POS murderer gets up, walks away, and you can hear him say, "I got that white woman," or something along that effect. And after that, she sits there in complete utter shock, puts her head in her hands, and then after about 30 seconds, you can see her topple over in her seat. And that's when she unfortunately passes away. And what really gets me mad is that there were a ton of other passengers nearby that could have done something. I mean, maybe they wouldn't have saved her life, but they could have at least attempted, acted like they cared. But no, they just let her pass away right there in the train with no help whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, that's just incredibly, incredibly sad and sickening at the same time. Just knowing that you have a poor, helpless individual who was bleeding out to death, and you just sit around and look and act like nothing ever happened. I mean, like, what is this country coming to? What is this world coming to? Where we see someone who needs help, and all we can do is just ignore it, pull out our phone, record it, whatever it might be. Sad. But she was only 23 years old. Iryna was only 23 years old. Still had an entire life to live. I believe she wanted to go to college and become a veterinarian. Yeah, it's just really sad, man. It really is. Someone so young, had so much potential, just her life taken by some sick, deranged POS, you know? And over here, this is Iryna Zarutska's final resting place. You can see you got a picture of her right there. It's like people have left stickers, flowers. Look up here, you have a teddy bear. Like a little mushroom candle. But there she is, that is Iryna. Yeah, very, very tragic, horrible, senseless crime against someone who did not deserve it whatsoever. Minding your own business, didn't bother anyone, and gets unalived because of some deranged psycho POS that claims to have mental illness. Yeah, just terrible. Looks like down here though, there's some flowers that have been knocked over. I'm gonna go ahead and pick these up. I think they might be Iryna's, I'm not sure. There's a card right over here, but I'm gonna try to fix these flowers real quick as best I can with one hand. I might not be able to do it. Might not be able to do it very well. Yeah, try to do as best I can. I mean, they look kind of already gone, but, and here's the note. Ooh, yeah, it's not gonna stay up. It says, Iryna, may God rest you, sweet soul, R.I.P. It's like they're from California. Wow. Well, I'm trying to get these flowers to stay up, but they're not doing that. Hopefully, the wind is blowing kind of hard today. Hope that stays. Might not be the best job ever, but if I had some water, I'd put some in there. But I think these flowers are probably already gone. Yeah, I'll show you one more time. Like, people have left these stickers out here. Now, I don't know if Iryna is inside of here, because looking up online, it said that she was not cremated. And I've walked around pretty much most of this cemetery and I have not seen her headstone anywhere. So I don't know if she's buried here. I don't know if she's inside there or not. I have no idea. But this is where everybody comes to pay their respects, so that's what I'm doing. So I know it's not a lot, but I did find this rock laying next to her resting place. I'm gonna put it right up here. Put it right there, so for Iryna. So I actually just looked up something pretty awesome. Quick search. It says there is a new bill, House Bill 307, known as Iryna's Law, and it seeks to modify the law relating to pretrial release conditions, specifically for those charged with violent offenses. So, a new law has been passed. Iryna's Law. That's pretty awesome. But unfortunately, it took something like this to happen for that kind of bill to be passed. It's ridiculous. So I believe Iryna's murderer is facing multiple charges. I believe one of them is first-degree murder. Now I know that he's had some added recently. I think one is terrorist attack on a mass transportation system. I think that's been one that's been added recently. I'm not quite sure, but who knows how long this case could be going on for, especially with the defense trying to claim insanity and stuff like that, mental illness. This case could go on for quite some time. Me personally, I think just torture him for a while, keep him alive, put him into Gen Pop. If he survives Gen Pop, put him into solitary confinement, throw away the key, feed him bread and water for the rest of his life, and just have pictures all around the room of Iryna. That way he can see her face every single day. That's what I would probably do to him. But unfortunately, justice is not in my hands. If it were, I'd make the guy suffer for a very, very long time. But like I said, this was completely horrific, very tragic. And I just cannot imagine what the family, the mother, the father, brother, sister, boyfriend, friends are going through and experiencing right now. It's only been barely over a month since this happened. All right, so that's going to do it for this video here at Iryna Zarutska's final resting place, or I think it's her final resting place, I'm not quite sure. I did search online to see if she was cremated. It said that she wasn't. So I don't know if she's in there because this looks to be a cremains area. So I don't know if she's buried somewhere in the cemetery somewhere, maybe an unmarked grave, but this is where her picture is and where everybody comes to visit. So yeah, that's why I'm here. It's a very, very sad case. Like I said in the first part of the video, I can't even imagine what her family, friends, stuff like that's going through right now. I know it's only been a little over a month since this horrible tragedy occurred, but I just cannot imagine what is going through her dad's head, her mom's head, brother, sister, boyfriend, everyone who loved her. It's got to be a very difficult, stressful, heartbreaking time. And I just can't even imagine losing a child. You just can't ever get over that. You can never get over that. It's just really, really terrible what happened to Iryna. Anyway, I'm gonna head out of here. I appreciate you all watching as always. Really, really do not like doing this kind of content, but I felt compelled. Something was telling me to come out here today and do a video of her final resting place. So always, always remember Iryna's name. Say her name, because we have to remember these victims of these terrible, senseless crimes. It seems like society wants to always glorify the killers, books, movies made about them, but the victims and their families are the ones that we always have to remember and keep dear to our hearts, because they're the ones that are suffering. The killers aren't. So again, Iryna Zarutska, say her name every day, remember it, because that's the most important thing. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and head out of here. I really appreciate you all watching. And like I said, always remember Iryna Zarutska's name. Say it every day and don't forget it. Until I see you in the next video, take care of yourselves. Please be kind to each other. And I will see you all then.